yogis, welcome to practice. We are getting ready for a 1-hour Vinyasa class, so go ahead and set up your sacred space as I start with our intention for practice today. I wanted to reference one of my favorite yogis, Donna Fari, and some of her words that she has here. One of the oldest and most beloved prayers from the Vedic tradition, the Gayatri Mudra, tells us that all of life is sustained by one ever-renewing source. When we practice restorative postures, what we are restoring is our connection with the part of our mind that is linked with this enduring, vast, and silent source. Yoga tells us that when we are in intimate connection with this part of our mind and thus tapped into a greater mind, we are also tuned in to the body's natural ability to heal itself. While restorative postures are ideal for those times when we feel depleted or when we are recovering from an illness, I encourage the reader to consider a proactive approach and to make restorative practices a regular part of your yoga. Reserving one practice a week for these rejuvenators, or including a few in each day's practice, will help build stores of energy that can prevent conditions of depletion and can pave the way towards sustainable health. So, we tap into this ever-giving source. For the hour that we spend here today has a profound ripple effect on your energy for the rest of the day. May you settle yourself on in for success. Come into a crisscross seat. Turn your palms face up. Lean back. Eyes can gently close. Focus on your pranayama. Inhale, big breath in. And open mouth, breath out. Again at your pace, rhythm of the inhale. Try not to hold the breath in between. Open mouth, exhale. A constant state of pranayama. So do your best throughout Vinyasa class today to always be in a state of inhaling or exhaling and not holding, gritting, clenching when we have those spaces in between. So welcome to practice. May you tap into your renewed source. Bring your hands to heart center. Lift the palms up to the forehead on your inhale. And breath out to bow to your practice, hands down to the mat. Start to look down to the mat, neck nice and long. Free-form movement is always welcome in your practice. May you be pain-free throughout our practice today. We're going to be starting in a tabletop pose. Those of you that have tender wrists, you can take all of these poses on your forearms, on your fists, or you can grab a block to have a little bit more cushion underneath your hands. We'll hop to it, tabletops. Take a few rounds of cat and cow. Breath to movement. When your belly button drops, you'll look up. That's your inhale. Really long belly. Exhale, round the spine. Press into the tops of the feet. Use the tips of your fingers. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the eyes, cow pose. Exhale to cat, round the spine, look at your belly. Keep your cat spine, hinge forward and back. With your rounded spine, keep pressing into the tops of your feet. Spine is still round. Lift your knees off the floor, pressing into the tops of the feet. Belly nice and tight, spine is round. Then find your cow pose. Try to keep the knees lifted, challenge the core, drop the belly, lift the eyes. 3, 2, and 1. Set the knees down. Lift your feet off the mat. Take a swivel. Look over your left shoulder. Take a peek at your feet. You should feel a stretch in your neck and widening through the collarbones. Come back to center. Take a breath in. Exhale to switch sides. Look to the right. Your weight is even in your hands. Not all of your weight is in that left hand. Come back to center and release your hands to the floor, feet to the floor. You'll keep looking down at the floor. I know you're tempted to crane your neck to look at the screen, but once you know what you're up to, you're looking down towards the floor. Left leg nice and long. Flex your toe like you're pressing into a step. 3, 2, and 1. Kick the left leg off to the side. Keep the leg as straight as you can. The foot is hovered off of the mat. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Bend in the left knee. Start to take a little back bend and open the throat. You'll then point your toe. Still breathing. Time to round the spine. Look towards your knee. Keep it off of the floor. Tiger's pose, knee to nose. 3, 2, and 1. 1 round breath to movement. Inhale, leg nice and long. Exhale, kick the leg to the left. Back to center. Breathe in. Bend at your knee. Back bend. Chin up. When you're ready to exhale, press into your fingertips, not just the wrist mounds. Peek towards the belly. Release the pose, bring the knee down to the floor. We'll get ready to switch sides. If you need to roll out your wrists, now is a good time to do so. Any creature comforts you might need, and then we hop to it with your right leg, nice and long. Inhale, leg is flexed. Hold here. See, back foot is untucked, but if you need a little bit more support, you can always tuck your toe. Breath out, foot hinges off to the right, press into your left hand and hover. 3, 2, and 1. Leg nice and long. Take a breath in. Bend at your knee as you exhale. Open the throat, Urdhva Dhanurasana. You can point the toe. Next, breath out. Look towards the knee, round the spine. You've been here before. Unclench the jaw. Let's move breath to movement. Inhale, right leg nice and long. Exhale, leg to the right. Back to center, breath is in. Bend at the knee, take your back bend, chin up. Hold, inhale. Breath out, tiger's pose, look towards your knee. Set the knee down to the mat and meet me in a high plank pose. Hips nice and high, breathe in. Low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog, we'll hold the pose, not your breath. Keep breathing, look over either shoulder. First up dog of the day, we go slow. Toes will tuck, downward facing dog as you breathe out. Deep bend in the knees. Walk your dog. Take 5 rounds of breath in downward facing dog. Trust your instincts, no need to look around. Look towards your belly button, to your source. Widen through the knees, take a child's pose. If you don't naturally reach down to your feet, you are not alone. Just lift your hips off of your heels until your forehead is able to connect to the floor, or bend at the elbows, rest on the forearms. Balasana.
You deserve to be comfortable in this pose. A conscious round of breath together, you'll start to fill up and fill up a little bit more. And open mouth, fog up your mirror on the floor. And then press yourself on up to a seat. You can come into your crisscross pose, and we'll warm up our hips a bit before we proceed into our breath to movement flow. Left leg will stay down. Take your right leg with you. This is baby cradle. You can hold on to your knee to the edge of your foot. Go ahead and bring your leg in towards you. You can rock your baby side to side. Whatever feels good. You're also going to take note of your range of motion in this hip, if it's clicking, if it's painful, if this is easy for you to do. And then we'll compare on the other side. A little bit more time to play. Sit up nice and tall. And then you'll release the leg down to the floor, sweep the arms overhead, take a breath in. Arch to the right as you exhale. Back to center, take a breath in. Switch sides, exhale. Back to center. Ready to switch to the left leg, take it with you. This is our baby cradle. You're holding on to your leg lovingly, gently. Proud to be here. Any noticeable differences on this side? Things you can start to take note of is if it's on your driving leg or if it's on your dominant side. Just doing a little self-research while you move around the hip just a bit more. Same amount of time on this side. And you'll gently release your foot down to the floor and meet me with the arms up and overhead. Take a breath in. Lead with the right hand. As you breathe out, hand down to the floor, eyes look up to the sky. Three, two, and one. Back to center. Both arms sweep overhead. This is your range of motion. You're welcome to bend in your elbows as much as you need. Exhale, side stretch. Imagine someone is standing behind you, and I would be pulling on your wrist just a bit and pressing your left hip down and into the floor. Nice little adjustments that you can give yourself by visualizing someone standing there, helping you get there. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center we go. Arms sweep overhead. And breath out, we bow to our practice. Drop the head, drop the eyes. We'll stay here 3 rounds of breath. Open up the hips and your low back here. Make that your priority. You're hinging forward, sucking in the belly. Using your exhales to fold. And into our downward facing dog. I will meet you there. Throughout class, I will hop on either side, facing directions. You do you. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Look towards the belly button. Extend your left leg nice and high. We'll come into three-legged dog. Open up the hip, bend at the knee. Let's warm up the left side. Free-form movement. From your three-legged dog, you will kick your leg off to the left. We tried doing this in our tabletop pose. Try it here in your down dog. On your inhale, re-extend left leg nice and long. As you exhale, left leg steps through between the hands, low lunge. We set up for crescent pose, some time to get there. Use your hands, bring them onto your hips, make sure that they're facing forward. Then we proceed, arms sweep overhead. Anjaneyasana. Find a soft space to look at, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, and then lift your right heel just a bit higher. Yogi high heels are on. Breath out, you'll bow forward, airplane your arms. See how your balance is today. Breath in, arms will sweep overhead. And as you exhale, you'll airplane. Arms will sweep overhead, breath in. Exhale, you'll airplane. Arms sweep overhead, that's the breath in. Let's take a warrior two as you exhale. Back foot turns open, arms nice and wide like a T. Hinge forward, breathe in. Hinge back, breathe out. Hinge forward, breathe in. Hinge back, breathe out. Hinge forward, inhale. Hands drop down to the mat, let's flow. Left leg nice and high, three-legged dog. High to low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog, that's your breath in. And downward facing dog as you exhale. Few rounds of breath to recalibrate. Notice if you're out of breath, how the body feels after getting some movement. Deep bend in the knees, right leg lifts nice and high. We're getting ready to switch sides. Hello, plant. Right leg will kick off to the side. Try to keep the leg nice and flexed. Look where you're going. Keep your foot nice and flexed. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. And exhale to step the foot through, low lunge. Crescent pose. Arms will sweep overhead in due time, but be sure that your hips are locked and loaded to the front. Suck in the navel, a little bend in your back knee. That'll give you a nice long spine. Anjaneyasana. Exhale, bow forward, look down at the foot. Inhale, crescent pose. Exhale, bow down, airplane. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. As you airplane, imagine I'm standing behind you. I'll pull on your wrists, hold your shoulders accountable, nice and wide. Arms sweep overhead. Let's head to warrior two as you exhale. Back foot turns open, look forward, hinge forward, breathe in. Hinge back, exhale. Forward, inhale. Back, exhale. Last one, breath in to reach. Exhale, slide back. Cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Your gentle flow through, right leg high, three-legged dog. High to low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog as you breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop your knees down to the floor. Come on into a seat. We'll take fire log pose. Perhaps you are familiar. Right leg will come down, left leg will come on top, and you're looking to stack your legs parallel to one another. Anything in between. Enjoy the journey as you get there. I know many of us are very tight in our hips, so if you have a floating knee, slip a pillow, slip a block underneath it. Find your fire log. Be realistic, lean back. And if you want a little something more, you'll exhale, bow forward, and keep your spine nice and long. If that's too sensational for you, be proud that you've noticed. Lean back and stay in your seat. Still here. Find stillness and slow down your pranayama. Arms will sweep overhead. That's on the breath in. Open the eyes. And bring your left arm underneath your right. Find your eagle bind. Press the palms in towards one another, or give yourself a hug here, and lift your elbows just a bit higher. Hold the pose. Little tuck of your chin. Lean back. Suck in your stomach. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bow forward with your eagle arms. Imagine your forearms and shins connecting with one another. Really deep posture. Keep your breath going. Inhale, come up into your seat. Unwind the arms, reach overhead, and breath out. Hands will drop towards the floor. As you get ready to switch sides, you might need a little counter stretch with your hips. So you can walk yourself forward and press your hips into the floor. I'll show you what I mean. Keep the knees here, hips drop, a little bit of an up dog, and then back into your seat we go. Let's switch sides. Left leg down, right leg on top for fire log, and then you'll surf around on your back side. Be sure that you're even on both sides. You're not dumping your weight into your knees. If you're choosing to fold up and over your fire log legs in this pose, you need to be tightening your core and holding up your torso as you fold over. You're not just dumping all of your weight like a sack of potatoes down. You have to tighten, lift, then breath out, start to hinge, really long spine. Same thing that you did on the other side. So I'm going to stay in my seat. Conscious breath, slow it down. Even in and out through the nose. Eyes will open, arms will sweep overhead. You'll find your eagle bind on the breath out. Right arm underneath the left. Palms will press together. Then lift the elbows up. Hands push away from your face. Hold Garudasana here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhales to round, forearms down to the shins. Remember, you are holding yourself up here, not dumping half of your body weight into the legs. Can you lift and lengthen a bit more? Then up into your seat, unwind your eagle, arms sweep overhead, breathe in, and hands down to the mat. You're welcome to take your counter stretch. Find a light cobra frog, dip your hips to the floor. Gentle, they might be noisy, right? We're getting ready for our flow. If you need to come up to standing or take a quick intermission, now is a great time to do so. Sometimes we need to arrive to our feet. Or you can meet us in a crescent pose. If you need to skip your sun salutation today, I will see you in crescent. We have been there before. Hands down to the floor, high plank as you breathe in, low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog, breathe in, and downward facing dog as you breathe out. Left leg high, take a breath in, and then you'll bend at your knee. Left knee will lightly tap the back of your bicep, your elbow. Inhale, left leg nice and long, and as you breathe out, step the foot through, low lunge. Crescent pose on the inhale, arms sweep overhead. Bow forward as you breathe out, look down to the foot. Arms sweep overhead, that's on the breath in. And warrior two as you breathe out. From your warrior, go ahead and straighten your left leg nice and long. We'll get ready for triangle pose. Before you head down, you're gonna keep a really long torso, really long spine. Don't worry about dropping your hand down to the floor for now. Focus on this right hip, turning it up towards the sky, scooping your tailbone, kind of thrusting towards the front of your triangle. Then drop your hand, wherever it may be, down to the thigh. And take your right hand, start to reach up nice and high. From here, you will lightly swim and rotate this right arm here. Ice cream scoops with the hand. And then switch directions. Find a focal point to help keep you balanced here. And then meet me in your warrior two, eyes over the left middle finger. Reverse your warrior, left hand nice and high. Hands down to the mat, option to flow. Step the foot back, breathe in, and hide a low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Yogi's choice, if you would like to flow through another sun salutation, I'm going to cue it for you. High plank as you breathe in. Low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog as you breathe in. And downward facing dog as you exhale. Let's hop to the right side. Inhale, right leg nice and high. Exhale, knee taps the elbow. Back to three-legged dog. Take a breath in. Low lunge, step it through. Find your crescent pose. Inhale, arm sweep overhead. Bow forward as you breathe out. Look down. Inhale, arm sweep overhead. Warrior two as you exhale. Look over the right middle finger. Start to straighten the right leg. Let's set up the hips for now. This is a great pose to stand in for a few minutes at a time. If you're ever hanging out idle in your kitchen or having a conversation with a loved one on the phone, you can hold this stance for a while. Start to open up the groin, the hip pockets. Let's build on. So right hand down to the thigh. Your belly button's really tight. Suck it in. Look up. Left hand nice and high. Trikonasana arms. You're welcome to sway with the breeze. Take a few scoops. I'll let you know when to switch directions. And switching directions, opposite way you go. Nice and slow, keep breathing. Ungrip your toes from the mat and use more of your heels. We'll find stillness in warrior two, eyes over your right middle finger. Reverse your warrior, right hand nice and high. Hands down to the mat, let's flow. Right leg comes nice and high, three-legged dog. Hide a low plank as you exhale. Chaturanga, upward dog, breath is in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Left leg will come nice and high, breathe in. Lizard lunge. You'll step the foot to the left side of where your crescent would be. Drop your right knee down to the floor. Hang out here. You're welcome to wiggle. See what feels okay, and then we proceed. You're going to drop that edge of the foot onto the mat. Your knee will bow out. Your face is happy to be here, so unclench your teeth. Look down to the floor. We hold. You have been properly warming up. I'll practice for this pose, so breathe deeply so that you can get to the full expression here. You've got 2 rounds of breath to go to dive deeper. To unclench on your breath out. And to come out of the pose, you're going to tuck your back toe. You're going to bring the left sole of your foot back down onto the mat. Step the foot back. Find your high plank. Breathe in. Low plank. Exhale. Upward facing dog. Breath is in. And downward facing dog. As you exhale. Right leg nice and high. Three-legged. Let's even out the other side. Lizard lunge. Foot will step to the edge. Come onto your left knee. And mimic the same depth that you took. Hands on the floor. Your wrist should feel okay. You can also pop onto your fists. And let's go a little deeper. Back of the neck is as long as the rest of you. Look down at the floor. Back toe is untucked. And your cheeks are unclenched. We're here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To come out of the pose, sole of the foot on the floor, back toe tucks. Our last vinyasa of the day, may you go strong, right leg nice and high, three-legged dog. High to low plank as you exhale. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Take your breath in. And downward facing dog as you exhale. Down to the knees, we will be taking embryo pose. So keep the legs, the heels all zipped together, and your forehead will drop down to the mat. Forearms are welcome if your head doesn't quite reach. Have your belly press into your thighs, and eyes will close. Let's hold this tight pod. Find consciousness, find reality. Onto the hands we go. You'll sit up tall and join me on your spine. You're going to keep your knees bent and the soles of your feet on the floor for this journey. Try to keep the feet section cut down. Reach the arms out in front of you. Slowly, slowly, so slowly. Recline on down to the floor. Get your ponytails out of the way. Make yourself comfortable. And then when you're pressing into your feet, it's to take that dip out of your low back. So if you feel like you have a bit of a twerk with the hips, a few things you can do. You can slip a blanket underneath that. You can also change how far away your feet are from you so that you can push a bit more and section cup yourself down. And then we will proceed. Go ahead and reach your arms up nice and high, and we'll take our eagle bind, left arm underneath the right, and you're lifting your hands away from the face. So try not to rest your hands on the head. Feel that your spine is still all the way sealed on the floor. It's not lifting up. We'll then hold this eagle crunch, press into your feet, inhale, lift off of the mat. Imagine your elbows driving into the belly, hands off of the forehead. 3, 2, and 1. Set the head down, unwrap the arms, sweep them overhead. Armpits are getting some sunshine. Both legs up the wall. Viparita Karani. A great lymphatic drain for us from your feet down to your hips. We were talking about all of those restorative poses in our intention and how you should take more of them to help your body get back to that natural source of well-being. And this is one of those poses. You can hang out here for up to 5 minutes at a time. Use a wall. we build on. So soles of the feet down to the floor, arms will sweep overhead, right arm underneath your left for this side of our eagle bind. Reaffirm that everything is sealed onto the floor. You can rock back and forth, then lift the hands off the head, press into the feet, lift the elbows a bit higher. Unclench the stomach here before we use the abdominals. Can you just let go of your belly? Really let it hollow out nice and soft. Then exhale to crunch, elbows in towards the belly. Let's hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release down to the floor. Unwrap the arms, sweep them overhead. If you have tight shoulders, just bend in your elbows as much as you need, and then find your legs up the wall. Viparita Karani. Three, 2, and 1. Press into the soles of the feet. Bring the palms face down on the sides of your hips. We take bridge pose. Lift your hips off of the mat. Use the hands and roll the knees in so that you're using the ball mound of your foot as much as the edge of your foot. Let's then lift a bit higher. Small pulses, breath out, tap down, inhale to lift. We'll take 5 all together. Take the strain out of your hands. 3, 2, and 1. Release your hips down and legs nice and long. You'll then walk your feet over to the right corner of your mat. You're going to cross your left leg on top of your right, and you'll start to arch into your crescent shape on the floor. And then from here, we're going to be moving the arm breath to movement. So inhale, you'll fly your left arm open, and as you exhale, you'll tap and close as you reach for the floor. Inhale, left hand open, and exhale, tap and close. Your range of motion, take it away. You'll find stillness, reach the arms overhead and hold. Let the belly go. It takes a conscious effort to unclench your stomach. We tend to clench so tight. So try to let the belly button go. Your ankles and feet, no need to tighten. We're going to switch sides. First, uncross the legs and find a bend in the knees, a bridge-like stance, readjust, take what you need, and then we'll switch sides. Legs nice and long to start, and then walk your legs over to the left, cross your right leg on top. Your backside is staying on the floor, so you're not lifting your hip off of the mat. Keep them down, and then from here, right arm reaches out nice and wide, breathe in. Exhale, hand taps to the left. We'll take a few of these here. Little tuck of your chin to keep your neck long. Your last one here, find stillness when you release the hand and hold. Find your crescent stretch. Belly softens. So does the teeth and the tongue. Let them go. It's a conscious effort to unwind. Let's take it back to center. Legs crawl to center. Hug your legs in towards your chest. Any free-form movement that you need. You'll then butterfly your legs in Supta Baddha Konasana. So butterfly the feet together, interlace your hands onto the back of the head. Lightly keep your head lifted off the mat. Let's stretch the neck here. So your head's lifted, I'd say about 4 or 5 inches off of the floor. Imagine your chin tapping into your chest. And you might have to reset yourself down every so often because you're going to grow a bit longer. Hold the back of the head gently. And then unclench your belly. Even though you're using some strength to lift your head off the mat, let your belly soften. Lightly turn the head to the left. Your chin will turn up towards the sky. Back to center, look towards the belly. Exhale, switch sides, head drops to the right. Any free-form wiggles, you can sway back and forth. Take a few more rounds of breath here. And release your head down onto the floor. You have set your head up for success. To extend your left leg nice and long, right leg nice and high. Interlace your hands onto the back of the thigh. This is our one leg up the wall. Try to keep your head on the floor here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend at the knee, take your supine twist, knee to the left, arms nice and wide like a T, and be sure that the shoulders are set on the floor. You know what the other half of this pose is going to look like, so be sure to keep your eyes closed as we get ready for our Shavasana-like state. You know where we're going. Come back to center and extend your right leg out nice and long. Left leg will shoot up towards the sky, left leg up the wall. Interlace your hands onto the back of the thigh. Little tuck of the chin. Let's hold. And bend at the knee, supine twist. Knee over to the right, arms nice and wide. Keep the backs of your hands on the floor. Your palms are face up. To center we go. Release your supine twist. Find a nice tight ball as you plant your seed of change. As you remember your intention today, we are watering that infinite life source. May you feel energized and present for the rest of the day. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3, 2, and 1. Release the head, find Shavasana. Palms will turn face up. This is our corpse pose.
Slowly awaken. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Notice what you might see through the eyelids. Take your full body stretch. Arms sweep overhead. Good morning. Knees hug in towards the chest. As we take fetal pose on the right side of the mat, I'll meet you in your seat, and I'll give you about 10 rounds of breath to get there. Sukhasana. Hands come to heart center. May you crisscross your legs. And we take a round of breath together. Lean back, breathe in. And open mouth. As the light, the teacher in me is so honored to guide the teacher and light in you. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. As always, it was a pleasure to practice with you. May your hips feel a bit more liberated after your practice today. And if you have any questions about this text, I will put it in our little section below so that you may reference Miss Donna Fari. Have a wonderful day.